So, what's been your experience? Your parents were in India, and then now your brother and yourself are in the US. How has been this move, and how have they taken it? Like moving
Yeah.
to the US at the very end of their life.
Yeah, no, it's a huge change, right? It's nowhere near the same kind of transitions
Hmm.
that we had going coming out of college and 21 to 22 to 23-year olds hopping on a plane and coming here is a very different experience than uprooting your entire network and support system and everything that you would do, your social kind of environment, everything's kind of gone haywire, right? So it's a
Hmm.
huge transition for them, but I think being close. So more context. So my wife, essentially, she moved here in the early 90s. So she's pretty much grown up here. She went to middle school, like late
Oh, okay.
elementary school, middle school onwards. So her
Hmm.
parents did almost the same thing, but they did it in their 40s. So when they were 40,
Hmm.
they basically sold everything they had in India and they moved to the
Hmm.
US and they set
Hmm.
up their family here.
Hmm.
So we have that kind of extended support network in addition
Hmm.
to here as well. But again, doing that in us doing it when we were in the 20s,
Hmm.
my in-laws doing it when they're 40s, and my parents
Hmm.
doing it when my dad's 73, my mom's 67, so they're
Hmm.
coming up to that same age bracket. It's a huge change for them. The advantage, of
Hmm.
course, is that my dad's able to drive, so he drives
Hmm.
in the United States, and that's a big positive. They've always liked to travel, so they've
Hmm.
been fortunate enough to where they've traveled around and experienced the US and all of that. So they knew a little
Hmm.
bit of what they were getting into. But I think more
Hmm.
importantly, what they felt was, to your point, as they get older in age, my parents had two priorities. One, they did not want to be a burden on us in the sense of
Hmm. Hmm.
being in India and us having to, my brother and I having to kind of come back and forth and do all of those things.
Mhm.
They did not
Mhm.
want that, and they wanted to certainly. So and when I say a burden, it's not just emotional, physical, but also financial, right? So they wanted to kind of create the
Mhm.
whole thing and set it up in a way that they can wind everything up so that if
Mhm.
something were to happen, then we don't have to deal with you know
All of
with the
okay.
the challenges of
Mhm.
transacting in India, right?
Mhm.
So they wanted to do that, and then the priority number two was obviously to be next to the family. And so
Mhm.
being in Atlanta, they could be next to the grandkids, the
Right.
my in-laws, whom they're actually very good friends with, and they kind of hang out, they do
Mhm.
trips and all of that. So it I think the pros and cons are still something
Mhm.
they're weighing
Yeah.
through, but you know
Mhm.
it's been a blessing in some ways because dad had a stroke late last year, and
Mhm.
he had to go through like a open heart surgery, and
Mhm.
it was we were very fortunate that we live 10 minutes away, and then they just had to pick up
Mhm.
the phone and tell me, and we just rushed over, and then it went from nothing to like full blown surgery and rehab and everything over a 3 month
Mhm.
period, and we were
Mhm.
all there around him to help.
Ah,
So
right.
yeah, so it's when you look back, I think it's a very risky decision. It's a bold decision,
Right.
but
Right.
when you think about all of that, I think they're in a good place. We certainly like having them around.
Mhm.
Obviously, it comes with its challenges, right? Now you're
Challenges. Right. Right.
another you're a phone call away, which means you're literally a phone call away for everything. So
Right. 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 Right.
you
Yeah,
have
I
to be.
mean, if you look at the US, even people who are born and raised here, I think the challenge sometimes are as the family grows, like parents grow old, you also have your kids, so you are essentially now juggling between raising another generation and taking care of another generation,
Yeah.
and you are sort of in middle of your career as well, where
Yep.
you are figuring things out, or the mid career is also there. I mean, these are challenging times for like various regions, and it's a bold thing that you just mentioned, right? Like
Yes.
having parents close by also has its advantages, but also it means you at this age has to take up more responsibility
Yeah.
beyond yourself.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I think there's a lot of advantages, right? I mean, my wife works, we all work, we're all kind of doing, like you said, 50 things at the same time. Our days
Mm,
get pretty
mm,
packed, but having both sets of parents within like 15 minutes of each other
Mm-hmm.
is amazing, right? For a variety of
Mm-hmm.
reasons. Sometimes if it is pickups and drop-offs, or it is,
Yeah.
even meals, right? So it just stuff just gets made and delivered to your house even when you don't
Mm-hmm.
know it, right? So you get
Yeah.
pampered a little bit. So there's a lot of positives to it.